everyone, welcome to Katharine's Creatures. This is a series where I get to talk a little bit about and touch base upon various mythological beasts, beings, and the like, pulled from lore worldwide. And I always like to say, I am not a linguist, so if I mispronounce anything, I do apologize in advance. Today I wanted to go over to the North American peoples and talk about the deer women, sometimes referred to as the deer woman or the deer lady. And this is essentially a spirit who comes from a variety in various Indigenous American mythologies. And so because of the variations of the peoples, their associations and qualities also vary as well. Now, in general, the idea of the deer woman or deer women is that they're kind of almost like this protective, vengeful spirit. If a woman or children are harmed in any way, the deer woman would again seek vengeance against the wrongdoer, and often luring the men to their deaths. And this particular spirit can take a couple different forms, one being a beautiful young woman. The other is either a deer or sometimes even multiple deer. When in a young woman form, she is often described as having the feet of a deer, so something to keep an eye out so you can distinguish her from a regular person. Now, her story is often told to children and preteens and again, the young adult peoples of these various communities as kind of, again, this warning to do right by society. So, and like I said, there's a large number of Indigenous American people who believe in or have believed in the deer woman, including, but not limited to, these are just a few, the Lakota people, Ponca, Cherokee, Muskogee, Seminole, Choctaw, just to name a few. And the list goes on. But like I said, a wide variety of people believe in some kind of variation of the deer woman entity. Now, she is again viewed as someone to hold up the ideas and values of traditional society. And essentially, her stories try to help keep humans in line, discouraging them from doing harmful actions that could destroy the community as a whole over time. Again, punishing wrongdoers, trying to push against people who are inclined to act overly promiscuous or are unfaithful in their marriages. And again, the deer woman is a woman, the entity to try again push back and punish those people who break those things. Essentially, she tries to keep the spiritual rules in line, and whenever they are broken, that's when the wrath of the deer woman comes into effect. And depending on the stories, sometimes she is assisted or goes along with her uncle, which is Thunder, pretty much incarnate, and they themselves would go and, again, be these wrathful, vengeful entities to punish wrongdoers. Now, on a lighter note of the deer woman, a lot of stories say that she is fond of dancing. I love dancing too, so I get it. But she's fond of dancing and would often join communal or community dances unbeknownst to the actual people of the community, and wouldn't leave until the drum beat or the last drum beat ceases. So loves dancing and will hang out in more of a positive form that way. Now, as the specific story goes, one of the variations of the deer woman I'm going to talk about goes back to the Lakota people. And in their version, the origin of the deer woman is this woman called Ite, I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, and she's essentially was the first daughter of the first man and woman. And in that lore, the wind fell in love with her and married her, and they had 4 children, which became the 4 winds, and those are their first 4 children. Now, in that story, there is involved one of the trickster deities, and Lakota people believe in the trickster spider. And so in this one, the trickster spider gets involved and causes the sun to fall in love with Ite. And at some big event, Ite's actually sitting in the seat of the sun's wife's position, which would have been the moon, and of course problems happen. So to punish Aite from this inexcusable act, the sky hurtles her down to the earth, scarring half her face, and from henceforth she was called Ainukaite, hopefully pronounced that correctly, Ainukaite, and that translates as the double-faced woman, so half her face is marred. And the idea of this particular story is that she, again, is this representation of this person who is punished for acting inappropriate and taking advantage of the relationships between husband and wife, etc., so on. So in this, she is now called the double-faced woman, and people would dream of her in either, again, her human form or as a deer, sometimes even two deers. And when she's two deers, again, these are representations of the appropriate sexual relationship people can have or inappropriate sexual relationships. Again, this reflecting her own story of becoming this kind of lover character to the sun itself and causing issues between the sun and moon and their relationship, as well as probably hers and her own husbands as well. So when men, going also in this lore, if men ever try to and have sexual relationships with the woman Ainukaite, they would go mad. It is a punishment for enacting such with this particular spirit woman. Now, if a woman dreams of Ainukaite, aka this deer woman, it's a sign that she could be gifted artistic powers, but only if she makes a wise choice in the near future. And you don't really know what the choice is, but if she makes the right choice, and the right choice essentially, then she would be gifted artistic powers, and having that dream of the deer woman was a sign that there is this opportunity coming your way, and be smart and make smart choices, and you'd be gifted with artistic powers. Now, that is pretty much all I have for the deer woman or deer women. If you have any questions about this, please post them in the comments below. Reach out to me on any of my social media. And until next time, everyone, Skål.